Ladies and gentlemen, got some amazing live trading coming for you, but as you can see from everything behind me, a very unusual video, going to be extremely educational for you. You're actually going to see, probably for the first time, how a real professional trader trades when he's traveling, right? I'm in a hotel room. We're going to get on the charts. You're going to see some live trading. It's amazing, but just for a few minutes, you're in for a treat. Because probably for the first time, you're actually going to see how a professional trader handles having to trade when he's traveling. And it's very different, as you probably won't be surprised to hear if you've watched any of my videos before, to how most people talk about traveling and trading. It isn't sitting on a beach, as you can see, trading off your mobile phone. There's no mobile phone here. There's no beach behind me, okay? What I've actually done, we'll spend 2 minutes. It's an amazing insight. And then we're going to get on the charts. So I'm in a hotel room, probably tell by the badly held camera, and I've actually bought this chair. You can see the boxes behind me. I've bought 2 monitors. I brought my laptop with me, and I've got some basic connections to connect the laptop to the 2 screens, because I find the laptop a little bit too small. I mean, laptop's okay. No mobile phones in sight. You can see the boxes behind me. So the monitors were about $150 each. The chair cost me, I think, another $150. So $450, one trade alone that you're going to see today made me over $1,000. So covered the cost of all of this. And then I'm trading throughout the week as well. Next week I'll have a week off. The final thing I want to say to you before we start, and by the way, I don't sleep with boxes on my bed. It's just so you guys can see. Obviously the boxes go in the cupboard. Final thing before we get onto the charts I wanted to say is that if you're traveling and you can't have access to, you know, things like a laptop or a monitor and a little bit of space to trade, don't do it, okay? Don't do it off your mobile phones. Professional traders do not trade off their mobile phones, okay? I've never seen it in a million years. Here's the evidence of it yourself. I am in a hotel room and you can see there's no mobile phone in sight. You can see my setup there. Hopefully that's a little bit clearer. You can see the hotel TV behind it, but it works. It's brilliant. You've got to stay professional. If you can't do it, wait till you get back home. You're not missing out. If you can, do it properly. Let's get on the charts. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as promised, we're going to get straight into it. It is my live account. You're going to see me trade it in real time as I was trading it. So you're going to be learning a lot. You're going to see how professional traders approach things very, very differently compared to what I see from most amateurs. And that's no criticism. You're going to see that for yourself now. If you want to be a professional trader, you want to succeed in this, you're obviously going to have to take a more holistic approach, right? So when I say that, I mean, we're going to do some analysis before we even think about the directionality or what type of trade we're going to place. All right, so what do I mean by that? Well, let me get straight into it. So what did we actually have this week? You know, ask yourself, as an amateur trader, most of you watching will be, you know, retail traders, and again, nothing wrong with that. Obviously you're here to learn, so you need to start somewhere, but really ask yourself before you start opening your charts or deciding, you know, am I going to buy it? Am I going to sell the market? Are you really doing the groundwork for that? You know, are you having a think about, well, you know, what's the feeling in the market right now? What's actually been happening this week? You know, these are big investors. They're going to be making a lot of decisions. A lot of their thinking is going to be done on the way to work, right? On the way to work, right? They may not necessarily have access to charts when they're traveling to work. They're going to be thinking about other things. So this week, what were those things? Absolutely crucial to understand that. We're going to do that together. It will take no more than a few minutes. Anyone can do this. As you can see, I'm using a publicly available calendar. I've set it just to give me the main pieces of data, and we can see this week we had the CPI. CPI was a big factor this week. Okay, and it was slightly higher than expected. Okay, so we saw the market drop off, right? Big sell-off off the back of that, but then it completely reversed and bounced back up. Why did it do that? So do you see what I mean? We've got to investigate these things at a even just a very basic level, so we can understand, what's the market thinking coming into my trading day, right? So a lot of the things the market will be thinking will have been, the tone would have been set on previous days. Okay, so as day traders, how much are you thinking about, what's the, and I don't mean longer term time frames, I mean, what's the day trading environment been like on a previous day, right? A previous day. So here we can see, as I mentioned, the CPI, let's get rid of that. So it was higher than expected. The initial reaction was quite negative, but why did we get this massive bounce? Well, I think the market came to realize that the trend in CPI is still continuing on a downward trajectory. And just because we had one print outside of that, it was only 0.3, as in 0.1 above the forecast on a month-to-month basis, really the trajectory is still down. So I think the market realized very quickly, okay, there was an initial shock and we have been rallying a lot, we're at all-time highs. So there were some opportunistic sellers wanting to take profits. As soon as that was done, the core investor base recognized it as an opportunity to get back into the market, okay? And we can even see that here, just one final thing before we hit play, and we will start to see some fascinating stuff, and obviously you'll see how I traded the market. And I'm only showing you this because perhaps it's something you may not have seen before. We're looking at the projections of what the Federal Reserve wants to do next year. So even post CPI, yes, the probability of rate cuts did decrease somewhat, because obviously there was this fear that, inflation might be higher than expected, but it's still very much on a rate cut trajectory. Okay, so that's very bullish for the market. All right, so you see we took, no more than a few minutes just to do that. How many of you are doing that? And actually it's not a criticism, it's the opposite. I'm trying to encourage you to do things slightly differently to what I see most people doing, which is just open a chart and you know what I mean, the traditional stuff. Okay, so let me hit play whilst I'm talking, so at least you can see some stuff going on and how I actually monetized it, right? It's all good talking, obviously we want to make some money. So you can see the market is moving right now. As I said, the market has moved up off the back of the CPI. It's been a very positive, ultimately a positive reaction. So any sell-off, we probably want to be doing the same. We want to be buying it, right? So what I've done here, I've spotted some aggressive sellers coming in, thinking potentially that it's a continuation. Maybe they haven't done this type of work that I'm doing beforehand. They're misreading the market, okay? And I want to take advantage of that, okay? So as soon as these sellers have come into the marketplace, if you think about it, that is their positioning, right? So you've seen me just buy the market, and I'll explain why I've done that. You can see these sellers here have sold the market perhaps on the false perception that the market is going to continue going down. So they've ultimately trapped themselves if the market starts to go against them, right? Pretty basic stuff. And can you see they've got short here, and really the market hasn't done much in their favor. It hasn't really gone down. So it started to go against them. They're obviously going to start to exit those positions, right? So you can see that starting to happen here. I want to take advantage of that. We can see a lot of buying coming in almost immediately after everyone spots these people putting themselves in a vulnerable position. Okay, so we want to take advantage of that. Trading, it's nothing to do, and I've said it many times before, with lines on a chart and these silly, I'm trying to say it in the most polite way, things like indicators don't really tell you anything. What tells you things is the raw data, right? And that's what we're looking at here. Can you see it? You can see it for yourself. You can see the buyers coming in, right? And a lot of that is not actually buying. It's those people that were trapped, these guys here, exiting their positions. All right, you can see the stop here, very, very tight stop, just below the lows. I'm taking advantage of them. That's why you can see the reaction being so aggressive, the pop. You can see it for yourself, these buyers coming in. It's those people that got trapped exiting. Everyone's going to notice that, and then you're going to see actual buying come into the marketplace. All right, now whilst this is going on, I intentionally wanted it just to play out so I could discuss something. So at least you could watch the market at the same time. One of the other factors that I'm looking at, and I've mentioned it in previous videos, is I'm looking at the value area of the previous day. Okay, the previous day value area. Walk onto any professional trading floor and 100% of people will know exactly what you're talking about when you say previous day value area. The value area is just looking at where the majority of volume traded. Where were people participating? And let me explain what I mean by that. Let's say, and I use eBay as an example because everyone's aware of it, but it doesn't matter. You know, any sort of auction taking place, and they're taking place all the time, right? They're a little bit slower in the real marketplace, but if you're going to buy a car, if you're going to buy any type of asset, and remember, you're buying here. What are you doing when you enter the marketplace? Forex, equities, you're buying something, right? Or you're selling it. If you think about auction sites like eBay, let's say you were buying an item, right? And the lowest that it had traded at was $12 and probably the highest was around $14. What do you think is going to happen when the price starts dropping towards the lower range? What's going to happen? Everyone's going to see that and they're going to say, wow, it's a bargain, let me go and buy it. Do you see? And when it gets to the top, everyone's going to say, maybe it's a little bit expensive and I'm going to sell it. So do you see, it becomes a natural range for human beings based on what's happened, perhaps the day before, on actual traded data. You know, when you're on eBay, you don't think about where the price has bounced off some line. You actually think about, oh, where have, you know, other people like me been buying and selling? It's such a natural thing to do. So you can see people are really going down the wrong path when it comes to trading. They really should be doing what they're doing in the real world, right? The exact same thing, which is what I'm doing. I'm looking at the marketplace. It's so logical. You know, it's really something that anyone could be doing and should be doing. Looking at logic, right? Otherwise, what are you really doing if you're not looking at this? So that's why I'm here, to encourage you to do that and actually show you evidence, right? In terms of real trading, that this is what works. Now, you can see the market play out. We've gone almost to the other side, right, fairly quickly. As I said, a lot of the marketplace has noticed this happening. People are vulnerable in this area. We're likely to have a bounce because it's a bargain basement prices, I guess you could say, coming in. Market goes to the other side. I think I almost exited just slightly early because you can see I just saw a little bit of selling coming into the marketplace, and this is where I exited. All right, so I am going to forward it. You'll see me, just so you don't have to watch it play out completely, because as you can see, it did take a few minutes just to play out, and there you go. Okay, so got out of the market for $1,187, covered the 2 monitors I bought and the chair, okay, which cost me $450. Obviously I've taken several more trades throughout the week, so well worth the investment. So just before we go, in summary, remember, if you are traveling and you plan to trade, think about your setup. You know, be realistic about it. Are you going to be able to see all of this off a mobile phone sitting on a beach? Probably not. If you're on a beach, enjoy the beach, nothing wrong with it. You know, however, if you do want to trade, at least, you know, have a laptop, be in an environment. You can see I'm in a hotel room where you're not going to be disturbed. Be professional about it. Okay, you can see I'm doing exactly the same thing you see me doing when I'm in my full office setup, in the sense that I'm still looking at the same information, and I take it very seriously, and therefore I reap the rewards. Okay, hopefully that was useful for you. Check out the video on screen right now if you want to learn more about professional trading. Have a great rest of the week.